could watch them all day. Now, the North East has produced countless football legends over the decades, but one forgotten star has now been honoured 26 years after his death. Joe Gardiner was from Durham, but became a legend for Wolverhampton Wanderers during the club's most successful era, winning the league title and FA Cup. Well, he was recently inducted into the Wolves Hall of Fame, but they couldn't find his family to pass on the award. The club asked BBC Newcastle to help with the search, and his loved ones have finally been presented with the honour. Martin Lindsay reports.
Some football fans in the North East don't remember Joe Gardiner, but in an area of the West Midlands, he's a legend. He was born in Bear Park in County Durham in 1916, but moved away, making his name in the game at Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Then they get their first goal through Westcott.
He was a one-club man and played in this Wolves team before retiring in the 1940s. He then went on to become the club's assistant manager during their most successful era in their history, winning the English title 3 times and the FA Cup twice, including here in 1960.
And so say all of us, was the verdict of Wolverhampton people when their heroes brought the cup home next day.
He was such a well-known man in Wolverhampton. You know, everybody thought he was from Wolverhampton, but he's not this area. But he became a Wolves legend. So from a 16-year-old to a retiree at 65, his life was Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Joe died in 1997 and was recently inducted into the Wolves Hall of Fame, but the club couldn't trace his family to pass on the award, so they called the BBC and asked for help. We put out an appeal on social media and managed to find his nephew, John Gardiner, who's finally been given the prestigious prize by staff from Wolves who travelled to his home in Lanchester.
John, it's a pleasure to meet you, and on behalf of the Wolverhampton Wanderers and the Wolves Hall of Fame Committee, can I present you with this inductee into the Wolves Hall of Fame for your uncle Joe Gardiner, who was a great player and coach with the Wolves for many, many years.
It's just recognition of the kind of fellow he was. And I think that's very, very important. For our family, I think it's a lovely thing to know. And so, yeah, it's something we wouldn't have found out about. And I think it's lovely that we found out about it. Thank you to the BBC for helping us with that.
You feel very proud when you know you have someone in your family that's like very famous. And he done good stuff. And he even like just, you know, he got famous because of what you loved. I just thought it was very cool.
John's now going to put the award with the other memorabilia he's collected over the decades for a football legend forgotten by some, but remembered in this house as Uncle Joe. Martin Lindsay, BBC Look North,